Hey everybody, welcome back to the Lead Security YouTube channel where we equip churches to be both inviting and secure. Let me ask you a question. If something popped off at your church this weekend, would you be ready?
She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready.
Now, I'm not talking about having a full-blown plate carrier looking like you're ready to go to Fallujah. I'm talking about your EDC, your everyday carry, the practical tools that you keep on your person every Sunday that make you an effective member of your church security team. Because here's the deal. Preparedness isn't just about what you train. It's also about what you have or what you carry. Today, I'm going to walk through 7 essential items that I believe every church security team member should either have on them or at least have near them every service. Some of these might surprise you, but some of them, might be a little more common sense, but every single one of them matter. So let's go ahead and dive in. First up, I've got a reliable flashlight. I think this one gets overlooked way too often. We think we've got flashlights on our cell phones, but in an emergency, especially in low light, really low light conditions, or even power outages, a flashlight on your phone might not cut it. You really need a tactical flashlight that is compact enough to fit in your pocket, but has at least like 300 to 500 lumens. The other reason you want a tactical flashlight is because you can use that as a force multiplier in a close quarters combat kind of a situation. So whether you're searching a hallway, helping people during an evacuation, or just checking out a suspicious vehicle in your parking lot, light is a force multiplier. These don't have to be expensive, although they can be. I'd recommend that most church security volunteers just jump on Amazon and get something that doesn't break your budget. And since we're talking about budgets, if your church budget allows, consider investing in your team and get a tactical flashlight for every person on your team. It doesn't have to be that expensive, but it can make a big difference. Just remember this: if you don't have a light, you're not in the fight. Second on this list is comms. You cannot work security alone. I know you might have RoboCop that comes to your first service every Sunday.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
And he was in the FBI, the CIA, and the ATF. But that doesn't matter. See, security is proactive, not reactive, which means you need lots of eyes and lots of ears to identify threats before they materialize. There are no super soldiers in security. You need a team. And here's the thing. If your team isn't connected, if they don't have comms, you're not really a team. Most churches use two-way radios with earpieces for comms. If your church budget won't allow for new radios, get your team to download the Zello app, which essentially converts your phone, your smartphone, into a two-way radio. Having a signal chat for your team to post updates is a good practice, but texting in a group chat during a crisis is far too slow and will most certainly cause chaos. In an emergency, you need instant, clear communication. Trying to run a team without comms is like trying to coordinate a fire drill with smoke signals. It just doesn't work. So our second item is radios. Our third item is medical gloves. And I know this one isn't glamorous. It's not very tactical, but it's absolutely necessary. If you have to give first aid, whether it's a heart attack, a nosebleed, or some head trauma, you need a barrier of protection. Keeping yourself safe from bloodborne pathogens doesn't make you look like a sissy. It might feel like it does, but it doesn't. It makes you look like a professional. More importantly, it keeps you safe. Keeping a pair of gloves folded in a pouch or in your pocket, or at the very least in your trauma kit that's nearby, makes you professional, but it keeps you safe. In ministry, we're called to serve, but we're not called to serve recklessly. So number 4 is a tourniquet. You want to talk about real life-saving gear? A tourniquet is just that. If you carry a firearm, but you don't have a tourniquet at your disposal, you are feigning safety. And here's why. In the case of severe bleeding, especially from extremities, seconds matter. Bleeding out can happen in less than 3 minutes. Most of the time, that's faster than EMS will get to you. Most churches will never see a violent threat that requires a firearm. However, accidents happen. Power tools, VBS set builds, and kitchen mishaps all lead to potential life-threatening disasters. And this one tool can buy someone the time that they desperately need. At number 5, we have a less than lethal force multiplier. Yes, I know some of you are carrying concealed, but what happens when your threat that materializes doesn't rise to deadly force? What do you do if the violent person doesn't have a gun? What if they're in a mental health crisis and aren't really intending to do serious harm? You need to have access to less than lethal tools like OC spray or tasers. These kinds of tools give you a use of force continuum, which means you don't have to pull your firearm. There's a caveat with this, though. You need to check your local laws, your state laws, to see what is legal for you to carry and whether or not you need specific certifications to have the tools that you plan to carry. Here's the main point, though. You can't claim to be protecting people if your only option is lethal force. We need to take the responsibility to think ahead. The 6th item on this list is a notepad and pen. Seems too simple, right? Well, truthfully, sometimes less really is more. I found while working security jobs, I sometimes just need to jot down a suspicious license plate, or I need to write down a statement for a client to review at a later date or time. In the context of church security, it's important to have a notepad in the case of a missing child, so you can record a detailed description of the child that's gone missing. Digital tools are great. I love them. But nothing beats pen and paper when things get loud and hectic. You're also going to find that writing data down helps you remember it, commits it to memory. And it shows people that you're serving that you're operating with intentionality and professionalism. The last item on this list of everyday carry items for church security is a concealed firearm. Now, before we dive into this, know you should only carry a firearm if you're trained, if you're licensed, if you're authorized, if you're committed to practicing regularly, and if you practice patience as part of your life. Let's be clear, a firearm is not your first line of defense, it's your last resort. But in the event of an active threat, an active violent threat where lives are in immediate danger, you need the ability to meet deadly force with deadly force. If your church permits concealed carry for team members, make sure you are trained under stress-based scenarios, not just range qualified. Make sure you can carry in a manner that's secure and that's legitimately concealed, meaning you're not printing, you're not broadcasting to the congregation that you've got a .357 Magnum on your hip. Also, make sure you have a plan for identifying yourself in an incident to avoid what we call blue on blue confusion. Let's get this clear. This isn't about being a cowboy.
Three amigos!
It's about being a calm, competent protector who's thought through the weight of responsibility that comes with carrying a firearm in a house of worship. So if you're not mentally, emotionally, and spiritually prepared to make that kind of decision in an instant, don't carry. If you're not patient, don't carry. If you have anger problems, God help you, do not carry. But if you are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually prepared, if you are patient and you're slow to anger, go ahead, carry well. And that means train regularly. It means don't just train your hard skills, make sure you train your soft ones at least as much. So let's recap the 7 essential items for your church security EDC. Number 1, we've got a reliable flashlight. Number 2, we've got a communication device. That might be two-way radios. It also might be the Zello app. Check that out if your budget doesn't allow for new radios. And number 3, we got medical gloves. Number 4, a tourniquet. Number 5, a less than lethal option. Number 6, a notepad and pen. Number 7, we just hit, was a concealed firearm. Every item on this list is about one thing. It's about readiness. Preparedness doesn't start when the emergency begins. It starts when you decide to carry the weight of responsibility for the safety of your church family. We're not here to create fear. We're here to cultivate faithful protectors who show up, who stay alert, and respond wisely when things go wrong. If there's anything in this list that I missed, put it in the comments. Do me a favor, if this video helped you at all, hit like, tap subscribe, smash the notification bell, and share it with your team. The reason I do these videos the way I do it is so that you can use these videos to train your teams individually if you don't have the resources to do so on your own. If you want to take your training deeper, send me a message at phawker@spartaninv.com. I look forward to helping you create a church that is both inviting and secure. Until next time, stay alert, stay safe, stay ready.